Hey now, welcome to Lone Star Mini Restoration. This is a continuation of my cylinder head removal, but my goal now is to clean it, remove the rockers, test all the valve cavities, the seats, see if it's leaking. I expect they will be, and then I'm just going to clean it all up. And Piper Doug, if you happen to be watching this, I want to say that I'm going to catch up with you, man. This year was a good year. These are two, but I have just added 4 to my collection. I should put put them on the wall like a beehive, right? This is the strongest structure, right? But anyhow, and store things in them. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with them yet, but I'm collecting 4. We got 4 for Christmas gifts, or to give to my family at Christmas, and then we went off and we left them. So we've had 4 tins of Quality Street to eat. And now I'm adding 4 to my collection. Ain't it great? I'll soon be caught up with you, Doug. But yeah, enough of that. Let's get cracking. I'm just going to remove the rocker cover. I am going to remove the studs. And then I'm going to start do a leak check and clean. Will it all be in this episode? I don't know. But let's crack on. So here's my cylinder head, where I left it 2 weeks ago. And I believe that all I have to do is remove these 4 nuts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this whole rocker assembly should just slide right off. So let's see how well this goes. Oh, oh crap. That one took the whole, again, look at this. It took the whole daggum rod out. Instead of taking the nut off. And look at this, I did notice this one. This one has an interesting washer on it. I didn't expect that. Here. This one, look at that, has an interesting washer. So I need to make note of that. It goes right there. All right. So, look at there. That was fairly painless. Kind of nice. So, these guys, rocker assembly, I don't know the proper name for that, but it's now off, as you can see. All right, so now this is where I take these push rods out. All right, so I have my box with radiator size and then 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way over to the left side. So that's where I'm going to put them. Starting on the radiator side closest, there's the first one. One of the things that I watched a video, although I'm not sure what I'm looking for. I watched a video by William Murphy who said check the bottom of these push rods. I'm not sure what I'm looking for, but it's nice and shiny. It's nice and clean. That's for sure. Anyhow, there's one. So here's my handy dandy storage. All right, so there's my beginning. All right, so here I'm going to remove these studs. This stud came out when I removed the nut, which that's a little concerning. A few of them did out there, but so I'm going to remove these. But one thing I want to point out in that nobody in any video, or I've not read it anywhere, if I had, maybe I've just missed it, I don't know. But these studs, like the studs that go through the cylinder block into the block of the engine, have different threads on them. I don't know if the camera can pick this up, this detail, but this shorter thread here looks like it goes down into the cylinder head, and it's a coarse thread. These threads over here that were held on with these nuts, like this, these are a fine thread. So, yeah. Anyhow, that's interesting that so it only goes in one way. If you're not careful, you could easily strip out the threads in the cylinder head. So be mindful of that. So I don't have a stud puller. So what I'm going to do is the next best thing. Since I have 2 of the nuts that came off of these guys, I am just going to remove it kind of the old-fashioned way, right? Put one nut back on. Ooh, that's tight going on. Put one nut back on. All right, put the second one on. All right, so now I'm going to tighten these bad boys together. All right, let's see. Yeah, looks like the whole stud is coming up now. Nice. Goofy me, put the box in, or the closed in, and then locked myself in. Silly. But it's working, so we'll get it off. All right, so there's the first one. That was fairly painless. And sure enough, the coarse threads were in the cylinder head. So, okay, so the first stud came off with ease, really. So, let's see how well we do with the second one. Okay, let's see if no, I didn't get that on there. That wasn't tight. What the heck? Okay. Oh, beautiful. Look, stud's coming right up. Well, that's slick. Beautiful, right out. Hear that? We live, I don't know, we live about 10 miles from SpaceX, and they've been blasting off engines a heck of a lot last few days. Hear that low rumble? This one's not as bad. Normally, the engines are very loud, and you can actually feel it. I would hate to live within a mile of that place. They just cranked it up a little. Anyhow, I thought I'd try to capture that on camera. I don't know if the audio is picking that up. There were four studs holding the rocker down, and two of them, the two on far left and far right, are a little bit longer than the other two. Is that normal? It didn't seem before I took it apart, I did notice that, and it didn't seem that there was a solid reason for it. Maybe there's different type of rockers assemblies, and maybe these two would need higher clearance. But on my car, that's what I got. Removing them was fairly painless. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these two studs for the heater valve. And again, I noticed that this stud in the back, closer to the firewall, is larger than this stud here. And then I'm also going to remove, let's see, that's the spacer for the temperature gauge. Sorry, mind the gap. The thermostat. I'm also going to remove these studs. And I think probably, oh, hey, this is kind of important. what I plan on doing is I'm going to keep this engine because 1275s are becoming harder to source. My intentions was I was always going to put a 1275 in my current restoration, but my intentions were that I was basically going to buy a rebuilt engine at about anywhere from 5 to 7,500 pounds or dollars. Maybe if I could source one over here. I am not going to do that anymore. I've been convinced by a Mr. Paul Jeffries, who gave me good insight, saying that I should at least consider keeping this engine, putting the 998 back in the other car, because I'm going to sell the other car. I'm going to get it running wonderfully well, and then I'm going to sell it. So, but I'm going to keep this engine. So, yeah, my quality, I'm going to do the best that I can do. So it's not like I would do anything different. However, now that I know that I am going to keep it, well, okay, no, that's not fair to say. One thing I would not have done, I probably would have kept all these rods. I just would have cleaned them up and put them back in. But now that I'm going to keep it, I'm going to remove rods, studs, mind the gap. I'm going to remove all these studs, and I'm going to replace them before I put it all back together. I'm going to probably make my order tonight, and then go from there. So this episode is just removing studs, short and sweet. I'm going to do the same method on these. I'm going to get the two nuts. These, because it's not all lubricated inside here, I'm probably going to spray some penetrant here, and then I'll remove these. Maybe I'll capture a little bit of that, and I'm going to remove these two. These two are different sizes, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I'm just going to use a little bit of PB Blaster lubricant on these 3 bolts here, because unlike the studs that were under the rocker cover, there's very little lubrication. It's all dry up here. What's this? Oh, look at this. Okay, before I spray, I'm going to remove some of this gasket, which is nasty. Yeah, I'm going to clean all that up. I should probably let that sit a while. However, I'm going to attempt to remove one of them. Let's see if we have the same fortune. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, baby. It's coming right out. I removed all the studs from the cylinder head, and it was painless. I mean, they all came right out. In fact, some of them were loose, which concerns me. I'm thinking they shouldn't be that loose. But for the record, the 3 studs that were for the thermostat housing, they take a 3/8 fine thread nut. And as you can see, the stud, like most of them, have a longer thread on the top side, and then the bottom side that goes into the cylinder block is a coarse thread, but it's 3/8 fine thread for those 3 studs. Moving right along, the 4 studs that were in the cylinder head that held the rocker arms on, they're also 3/8 fine thread. Now, for some reason, one of mine had this funny, let me see if I can get in here, had this funny washer on it. I'll have to figure that out. But these threads are also 3/8 fine thread, and they're coarse thread that go down into the cylinder head. And the other note with these is that 2 were longer than the other 2. Not sure why that's needed. The 2 studs holding the heater valve on, one was a 3/8 inch 5 thread, The other one is a 1/4" fine, was it quarter? Yeah, 1/4" fine thread, 3/8 fine thread. So, and likewise, these have no, I'm going to say that the 1/4", it's fine thread on both sides, top and bottom. This guy is not. And then the last studs that I took out were for the inlet and the exhaust manifolds. They are also 3/8 fine thread, and they're all the exact same length. And the other difference is that they're fine thread on both sides. I don't know why, but this side was the short side, the short thread side goes into the cylinder head. But that's it. So now it all came out. All of them came out fairly painlessly. My next task will be to clean this bat. No, to do the leak test and then to clean it up. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Bye just now.